Okay, so let's get into it. We have a really fascinating and timely legal deep dive for you today.
Very specific one, yeah. Holiday themed.
We are looking at the 2024 film, The Night Before Christmas in Wonderland.
Right, which is, it's a fascinating mashup. It takes Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland.
For 1865, yeah.
And it just slams it together with Clement C. poem, The Night Before Christmas, which is from, 1823?
Exactly. And our mission really is to unpack the legal gauntlet that the creators had to run to make this happen.
A huge gauntlet. We're talking public domain, trademark law, and the incredibly long arm of film copyright.
So the starting point, the foundation, seems pretty simple on the surface. The original books themselves they're in the public domain.
They are, yeah. Carroll's book, Moore's poem. They're old enough now that anyone can rework them, adapt them. That's the freedom of it.
But it's never actually that easy, is it?
Never. Because as soon as you say public domain, you immediately hit the first major hurdle, and that's trademark.
Oh.
The story is free, but the branding, the titles, the commercial identity, that's where trademark law kicks in to protect things.
So is a title like The Night Before Christmas in Wonderland even safe to use then?
Well, the phrase The Night Before Christmas isn't a widely registered trademark, but Alice in Wonderland, that one definitely is. In a lot of places.
And I'm guessing derivative titles like Disney's The Nightmare Before Christmas are completely locked down?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the whole strategy, you see. You trademark titles like Harry Potter or Star Wars to protect all the commercial stuff, the films, the toys, the clothes. It's totally separate from the copyright status of the original story.
That makes sense. It's all about protecting the brand. But this brings us to the real legal monster in the room, which is the Disney animated film, the 1951 Alice in Wonderland.
Right. And now we're moving from trademark law into the very dense and complicated world of cinematographic copyright, which, lasts a lot longer than literary copyright.
How much longer are we talking?
So under EU law, which is a good model for this, the rights last for 70 years after the death of the last surviving co-author.
The last one. Okay, but who counts as a co-author? That can't be every single person who worked on the film.
No, thankfully not. The law is actually pretty specific about this. There are 4 key roles. You have the principal director, the screenplay writer, the dialogue writer, and the composer, but only if the music was written specifically for that film.
And this is where it gets, frankly, kind of wild, because Catherine Beaumont, the voice of Alice,
she's still alive.
She is still alive today. So that means the clock, that 70-year clock, it hasn't even started ticking yet.
It hasn't started, not at all. And that's a perfect illustration of how this collective authorship system basically gives these works an almost indefinite copyright protection.
Wow. So the creators of this new film had to be so careful not to copy anything from that specific Disney film. The art style, the character designs, maybe even certain scenes.
Exactly. They had to stick purely to the public domain book.
Okay, so that distinction is crystal clear now. Use the book, avoid the film. But there's one more layer of complexity here, isn't there? Something about a related right.
Yes, this is the final piece of the puzzle. You have the main copyright. That's the big one, the 70 years after Death Shield we just talked about.
Right.
Then you have this other thing called a related right. This one belongs to the film's producer, and it's more about the physical media. So think DVDs, Blu-rays, that sort of thing.
And that one is shorter, I'm guessing?
Much shorter, usually just 50 years from publication.
So wait a minute. If the producer's right to sell the DVD expires after 50 years, does that mean the film is suddenly free for anyone to use?
It's a great question, but the answer is no. The case law on this is really clear. The longer term always wins.
So the main copyright just trumps the shorter related right.
It's the stronger legal shield. Even if that 50-year right for the physical copies is up, the underlying work is still protected by that huge 70-year postmortem copyright. It's not free game.
So, to bring it all back together, this new Christmas film, this mashup, it starts with these wonderful free public domain concepts.
Right. Santa Claus meets the Mad Hatter.
But then the creators had to carefully tiptoe around all these specific registered trademarks.
And they had to completely avoid anything that looked, sounded, or felt like the Disney film, because its copyright clock might not even start for another decade or more.
It's just an incredible example of how enduring these protections can be.
It really is. I mean, the source we looked at joked that Christmas is saved, but it really leaves you with a much bigger question, doesn't it?
Which is?
Well, you have to wonder, does this rule 70 years after the last person involved dies? Does it effectively give a production company rights for, I mean, it could be centuries.
Yeah.
Especially with these big collaborative films where someone from the original team might live for a very, very long time.
The protection almost seems endless.
It really does. It's definitely something for you to chew on until our next deep dive.